Have you ever caught a glimpse of yourself in a window and noticed your head is tilted just a little bit forward, or seen it in other people? We all just kind of write it off as bad posture. But what if it's not just a bad habit from looking at our phones? What if your body is trying to tell you a secret, a really important one, about how you breathe? Or maybe how you can't breathe when you're asleep? You know, we always hear sit up straight, as if posture is this one simple thing we just need to fix. But our bodies are way more complicated than that. They're these incredibly interconnected systems where a little change in one spot can actually be a huge clue about something going on somewhere else entirely. And this question right here, it's the key to a health connection that most of us have never, ever thought about. And this leads us to a really fascinating study. Researchers used some pretty high-tech stuff, X-rays, 3D models, to get a good look at the spines of people with a specific kind of sleep disorder. And what they found was wild. There was this clear, measurable pattern. The way these people held their bodies was consistently different. And no, it wasn't a coincidence. It was the first big clue in a mystery connecting our spine to our breath. So the condition at the center of all this is obstructive sleep apnea, or OSAS for short. What happens is when you're asleep, the soft tissues in the back of your throat can collapse and completely block your airway. I mean, the person literally stops breathing. It can be for seconds, sometimes even a minute, until their brain basically panics and jolts them awake just enough to gasp for air. And this can happen hundreds of times a night. And the craziest part? They usually have no idea. And here is the hard data. This is where it gets really clear. The researchers measured that forward head tilt we were talking about, and the difference was just dramatic. People with sleep apnea had their heads tilted forward about 12 degrees on average. Compare that to the healthy group, just 5 degrees. That is more than double. We're not talking about a little slouch here. This is a major structural shift. So the big question is, why? And that why is honestly the most mind-blowing part of this whole story. Why on earth would your body develop what we all call bad posture? It feels like a flaw, an error in the system, but it's not. It's actually a brilliant, if desperate, survival tactic. That forward head posture, it's a subconscious survival move. See, when your airway is getting squeezed shut, your body will do anything it can get more oxygen. By jutting your head forward, you're physically pulling the tissues of your throat open, creating a wider path for air. So, in short, your body is totally willing to sacrifice good posture to prioritize the one thing that matters more than anything: breathing. And the science absolutely confirms this. The study uses the fancy term cervical hyperextension, but that's exactly what we're talking about. It's how the body compensates for an airway that just isn't working right. And get this isn't just happening at night. It's a deep physical response to a constant 24/7 struggle for air that continues even when you're wide awake. But this clever compensation comes at a huge cost. The root problem, that blocked airway from sleep apnea, it has some really severe consequences. This is so much more than just feeling tired. We're talking about a whole cascade of serious health issues, everything from heart disease to metabolic problems, not to mention a higher risk of accidents just from being so exhausted. This is a big deal. And what's really sobering is that this isn't some rare thing affecting a few people. We're now realizing that we are facing a massive modern health crisis, and the scale of the problem, it's truly staggering. I mean, listen to this. According to Dr. Richard Downs, who's a pioneer in this work, even the CDC has called poor sleep an unrecognized epidemic. It's silent, it's sneaky, and it's impacting millions of people who probably don't even connect their health problems back to the quality of their sleep. Want a number to really put this into perspective? 74 million. That's the estimated number of people in the US walking around with undiagnosed sleep apnea. Just think about that. A massive part of the population is struggling every single night, their bodies compensating in ways they probably just write off as, bad posture. So, okay, this all leads to the next big question. Why is this happening on such a huge scale? Why are so many modern humans all of a sudden dealing with these blocked airways? Well, the clue, surprisingly, isn't in our necks or our chests. It's right there in the structure of our faces. Dr. Downs explains this perfectly in his book. He argues that our modern soft diets have literally changed how our faces develop. Our ancestors, they chewed tough, raw foods all the time. That work built broad, strong jaws. And those big jaws created plenty of room for their teeth and, more importantly, a big, wide-open airway. Our jaws today, By comparison, they're often much narrower, which can actually push the tongue back and shrink the very space we need to breathe. But hey, if the problem is rooted in the structure of the face and jaw, then maybe the solution is too. And this is where modern dentistry is doing some truly incredible things that go way beyond just cleaning your teeth. One of the key treatments here is called oral appliance therapy. And don't picture some flimsy mouthguard for snoring. No way. These are sophisticated, custom-fit devices that are designed to gently and gradually expand your dental arches. They're essentially remodeling the structure of your mouth to create more space. So how does that even work? It's actually a beautiful piece of anatomy. See, the roof of your mouth is also the floor of your nasal cavity. So if your upper arch is too narrow, it's literally pinching your nasal passages from below. By using one of these appliances to gently widen that palate, you are at the same time expanding the floor of your nose. More room, better airflow. It's that simple. But fixing the airway isn't just about the jaw. Remember that forward head posture we started with? The body is all one integrated system. And that means treating these kinds of issues often means looking beyond just one specialist. It really takes a team. And this brings us to another key player, upper cervical chiropractic care. Now, this is a highly specialized field that focuses on just the top two bones of your spine, the atlas and the axis. This area is so critical. It's not just where your skull rests on your neck, it's also home to one of the most important parts of your nervous system, the brainstem. Just think of the brainstem as your body's master control center for all the automatic stuff, like breathing and sleep cycles. Well, if those top two vertebrae are out of alignment, it can irritate that area and interfere with the signals that tell your body how to breathe and rest properly. These incredibly precise adjustments are designed to relieve that pressure, helping your nervous system finally shift out of a constant stress state and into the rest and recover mode you need for deep, healing sleep. Okay, so we've unpacked the problem, the body's strange adaptation, and some of the really innovative solutions out there. So now let's bring it all together into an actual blueprint for what you can do. So what's the biggest takeaway from all of this? It's that the absolute foundation of good sleep is a healthy, open airway. Period. And as we've seen, fixing that often requires a team effort. You might need a dentist who understands jaw structure, an upper cervical chiropractor, and a medical doctor to oversee the whole process. And while you're seeking out that professional help, there are foundational habits that every single one of us can build. Now, these sleep hygiene basics won't fix a blocked airway, but they create the absolute best conditions for your body to get the rest it desperately needs. Being consistent, cutting out caffeine at night, making your room a cool, dark cave, these things really do matter. And listen, this is absolutely critical. Please do not try to self-diagnose or self-treat based on some gadget you saw online. Sleep apnea is a serious medical condition. The essential first step is always getting a proper diagnosis from a sleep study ordered by a physician. It's the only way to know exactly what's going on and what treatment is actually right for you. So in the end, that nagging neck pain, that forward head posture, it might be so much more than a bad habit from looking at your phone. It might be a whisper, or maybe even a shout from your body, telling you a complex story about survival, a story about its desperate nightly fight for air. The real question is, are you listening?